The time is 11:48 a.m. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. And the news headline: Will the Nigerian government accept U.S. intelligence reports on terrorism in good faith? The news info. For over a decade now, Boko Haram insurgents operating in the northeast of Nigeria have continued to wage war against the government with the aim of establishing an Islamic caliphate in the region. It should be recalled that the insurgents have launched several deadly attacks in the region, killing hundreds of people in the process, including security agents. Since the sect began to launch attacks in the region, the Nigerian government has continued to invest billions of naira in the fight against terrorism in that part of the country. Despite the huge amount of money spent fighting Boko Haram and bandits in Nigeria, terrorism, kidnapping, and killings have continued to go on in different parts of the country. Arguably, these criminals could have not survived the onslaught by the government's security forces without being sponsored by some strong and powerful people in the country. Recently, it was reported by the Vanguard News that the United States has reviewed its readiness to help the Nigerian government with the intelligence reports on sponsors of terrorism and banditry in the country. It is arguably that the ability of these criminals to acquire sophisticated weapons and bring them into Nigeria for the purpose of use against the citizens suggests that indeed there could be some powerful people behind the groups, and as such, the U.S. willingness to provide intelligence reports on the group sponsors may have come to the public as cheering news. Despite the report of the U.S. readiness to help Nigeria with intelligence reports on sponsors of the terrorism and banditry, which may have been seen as a welcome development, and the big question is, or which may be seen as a welcome development, the big question is that would the Nigerian government accept any intelligence reports by the U.S. in good faith? It should be recalled that in August 2020, Sahara reporters reported an alleged interview with a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Obadiah Mailafia, where he alleged that one of the northern governors is a commander of Boko Haram. Now, considering these reports and the likelihood the U.S. could provide intelligence reports on sponsors of the terrorism and banditry in Nigeria without the fear of whose ox will be God, and we may begin to wonder whether the Nigerian government would be able to accept the intelligence reports in good faith, particularly if any of it officially is indicted. It should be recalled that a couple of months ago, when it was reported that a serving minister once prayed for Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, he was said to have done that out of youthful exuberance. With this in mind, it is arguably that the problem may not be about receiving intelligence reports from the United States, but whether the Nigerian government would be able to accept such a report in good faith if it happens that any of its officials is indicted in such a report. The time is 11:52 a.m. The analysis. Sometimes ago, the president of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, have been seen to have called for the U.S. to support them in the fight against terrorism. And after being assailed by unrelenting insecurity across the regions of the country and yielding to calls for international collaboration, President Muhammadu Buhari, found a need to seek help of the United States government to contain the situation of the country. And during a virtual meeting sometimes ago with the U.S. Secretary of the State, Mr. Anthony Blinken, Buhari stressed the need for U.S. to consider relocating its African Command, AFRICOM, from Stuttgart, Germany, to Africa, nearer the theater of operation, while urging international community to support Nigeria as sub-region in tackling security challenges to avoid spillovers. President Muhammadu Buhari said the security challenges in Nigeria remain of a great concern to us and impacted more negatively by existing complex negative pressures in the Sahel, Central and West Africa, and as well as the Lake Chad region. Compounded as the situation remains, Nigeria and our security forces remain resolutely committed to containing them and addressing their root causes. The support of important and strategic partners like the United States cannot be overstated, as the consequences of insecurity will affect all nations. Hence, the imperative for concerted cooperation and collaboration of all nations to overcome these challenges. And in this connection, and considering the growing security challenges in West Africa, West and even South Central Africa, the Gulf of Guinea, Lake Chad region, and Sahel, weighing heavily on Africa, it underscores the need for the United States to consider relocating the AFRICOM headquarters from Stuttgart, Germany, to Africa and near the theater of operation, he says. He said the spate of attacks, which had been worsening in weeks, got to a frightening crescendo in the last hours in the country, in all the 6 geopolitical zones. Senators of the country expressed fears that the Boko Haram insurgents might overrun the nation's capital, Abuja, because of the attacks the deadly group had launched on neighboring states. And also, on the Monday, the governor of Niger State, Sani Bello, revealed that Boko Haram had taken over 50 communities in the state, adding that the terrorist group is just about 2 hours away from Abuja as at then. And his counterpart in Nasarawa, Governor Abdullahi Sule, had also lodged similar complaints of Boko Haram in the state. Senator Smart Adeyemi of the APC Kogi West was moved to tears while contributing to the debate. He said, "Insecurity is a serious problem in Nigeria. There comes a time where we cannot but speak the truth, irrespective of sentiment. Mr. President, we did not run away from the fact that more than ever before in the history of our nation, this is the worst instability we are facing. In fact, this is worse than the Civil War. The answer is very simple. We cannot pretend that we are capable of confronting the situation in our hands. We need foreign support now." And as a way of addressing the issue, the Senate resolved to send its leadership to meet with President Buhari, but no date was fixed for that meeting as at then. However, just of late, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Leonard, has been interviewed by some newsmen in Abuja, whereby she was asked what the U.S. is doing about the insecurity going on in the country. And she said that she has been on a discussion about such for about 2 months now, and they are going to look into it. And therefore, the question that is posed to Nigerians as at now is if the U.S. should actually identify the sponsors of terrorism in the country, will the Nigerian government allow, will they admit, will they be able to accept such a report in good faith if it happens that any of its officials is indicted in such a report? The time is 11:56 a.m. Good morning. Thanks for listening.